Welcome to another episode of the Scoop Podcast, brought to you by West Philadelphia High School. Super excited today, man. I got a guy that I knew for about 20 years now, man. A real close friend of mine. He's done a lot out here for these young people, these youth. He's continuing doing that work. I mean, was a monster on the basketball court. And we got another upcoming monster on the basketball court that's going to be interviewing today. But we have none other than Nafis Ricks. What's up, Feast? How you doing?
Man, I'm great, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be on this podcast and getting the opportunity to have a candid conversation with Beer and yourself.
Man, I appreciate you coming through, man. I know you got a very busy schedule. I know, especially when you back home, I know people calling you all over trying to get you to come here. So I appreciate you took out some time to come kick it with us here at West Philadelphia High School on the Scoop.
No doubt, no doubt.
So I got Khabir Washington here. Everybody say what's up to Beer. Y'all know Beer.
What's going on?
Yeah, I know you had, what was it, last week? I think you was able to come in and kick it with the West Philadelphia basketball team and talk to them about some things. So that's why I felt it was important to bring Beer on, to have that conversation with you. And just, further the conversation that you guys may have had the other day. So I'm going to let Beer take it away.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you sitting here talking to me and my man Bob. I know you're important, man. Feel me, but yeah, can we give the viewers a thought, like really of who are you? Like, who is Nafis Ricks?
Man, great question, man. Well, first and foremost, originally from West Philadelphia, 55th Cedar to be exact. I would say I'm a man of honor, and when I say that in a positive way because a lot of times we don't get to see a lot of black men in a positive light. A guy from the inner city, had mom and dad in my life at the same time, but just in different atmospheres. I would say a kid who was just trying to find himself, use sports as an outlet to express who I was on a bigger level, because all the pain that I've been through, had a lot of trauma growing up. Mom and dad was never together, married or whatever, so that took a toll on me and how I seen myself in like intimate relationships, not in a sexual way, but just trying to figure out like I seen mom and dad, but like I said, I never seen them in a way where it's like a loving way. So as I continue to move forward, to learn more about myself, I'm a mental health advocate. Currently in school to become a psychologist. So it's a little bit about me.
So, well, me, I'm a hooper. We both hoopers right here. So I'm gonna get right into it. What I wanna really ask you first, like, I want you to just go through like your whole basketball journey. Like, you could start from middle school, high school, wherever you want to start from, but like, really just your whole basketball journey and how you really got into it.
Yeah. So it started off. So like I said, I was born in West Philly, raised in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina to be exact. And I played ball. I really played all sports like basketball, football, soccer, the whole shebang, tennis. But the one thing I said about basketball, I felt like it gave me a spotlight. When you playing basketball, it's so easy to find a basketball court, and you see your friends doing it. So I started playing from second grade all the way up until to this point. And one thing that I found out about basketball, it was a lot of it was a conversation starter. Growing up in North Carolina at the time, I was very competitive. I think that came from, like I said, the trauma that I faced as a kid and wanted to express myself in a positive way. I liked the sport because it was physical, but at the same time, it was finesse. So I played from second grade, like I said, all the way to 10th grade. Middle school, I played middle school basketball, seventh, eighth grade. And then my brother got killed in the eighth grade when I was in the eighth grade. So I was 14, he was 19. And that kind of shifted my thought process on how I seen basketball or just sports in general. It's easy to get caught up, especially like dealing with so much and not knowing what you want to do because that was a powerful thing that happened to me in my life while I was in North Carolina. So as I matured, I never played basketball my freshman and my sophomore year, but I always played like around Rex and stuff like that back in North Carolina, and then to the point where I finally moved back to Philadelphia in my sophomore year in January, and that's when me and Bob connected when I moved back to Philadelphia and I went to Lamberton High School. I was playing basketball there or whatever. We was playing in open gym and stuff. Well, playing in gym during gym, and then I was trying to be on a team, but it was a little too late. Uh, it wasn't until I found out I was like, man, I'm trying to hoop, but they wouldn't let me play, so I had to wait for the following year to kind of get that started for my varsity career.
You say you didn't always live in the city, so like me, I always lived in the city, so I just want to know like what was the real difference between you not living in the city and in the city, like far as basketball life, like this is like what was really different, like you really like, man, like it's really a difference.
Yeah, I think I was, to be honest. So we used to come back to Philly. Me and my little brother used to come back to Philly like every summer. So I'm wearing Jabot jeans. I'm wearing big baggy shirts. So when I'm coming to Philly, everybody like wearing state property, wearing Dickies to go to school. I wasn't used to that because we had to wear uniforms, but it wasn't. It was a white shirt, blue shorts, and some sneakers and stuff until middle school and high school. I never wore a uniform. So when I moved back as a sophomore, I felt like I was in prison. I ain't gonna lie to you, because our schools in North Carolina was built it out. Most of the schools here is built it up like a prison, so and we had to go through a metal detector here. I wasn't used to that, so when I came back to Philly, I'm like, I got to get on a city bus. I wasn't really used to that. I was used to getting on the cheese bus. It'd be like 20 of us at the bus stop waiting for the school bus in North Carolina. And then when I got here, they're like, you got to ride SEPTA. Mind you, I ain't know nothing about SEPTA. I ain't know how to get off, what stop to get off of, and then I ain't know I didn't go to the neighborhood school, so West Philly and Bartram was the neighborhood school for me at the time. I didn't really want to go because that's all my friends that lived in the neighborhood, so decided to go to Lamberton, 75th and Woodbine, and just try to make a name for myself, because I knew I'll see all my homies back in the neighborhood, but it was just a shock, man. It was I felt like everybody looked much older compared to North Carolina. The students down there was more like they was driven by like sports, and they had like we had big fields and stuff. So the structure was totally different. When I moved back to Philly, I had so many classes. They was gonna try to bump me up a grade because they didn't have enough classes. They didn't have the same classes here that I had in North Carolina. I just stayed in as a sophomore, so I could have actually bumped up. I had 11th grade homeroom, but I didn't want to go because I wanted 2 years of basketball.
Hmm.
So that was the biggest thing. I just like just adjusting to the students, the lifestyle, and just like, man, I was in the city compared to the country.
Okay, right, right, and I want to jump back into something you said. You said your brother had passed away.
Yeah.
How did that take a toll on you emotionally, physically, like basketball and just in life? Like, I just want to know how that took a toll on you because I know them type things take.
Yeah, yeah, it was tough. I mean, that was the first time I experienced gun violence, and I talked to my brother the night before it happened. It was at 9:30 in Southwest. He got killed the next day, 9:30 in the morning, broad daylight. Got shot in the back, and hit him in his main artery in his heart. It's like one of those things that you don't expect. Like we having this conversation, then 20 minutes later, something happened to you. It's like one of them shocks. So for me, once again, basketball was my outlet. I knew I wasn't no gangster. I never tried to pretend to be a gangster. Of course, you want to retaliate, but at the time I'm in North Carolina and Philadelphia, I don't know what's going on. I ain't really built for that to go in the street and go do whatever X, Y, and Z. So for me, it was more of like frustration, upset, angry. My mom, I was really like heartbroken because my mom had to go through that, and my brother was living with my mom, or what have you. So experiencing that and like where I'm at today, and knowing how to cope with it, I didn't. Like I said, I use sports as an outlet to express myself, because a lot of times a lot of us, we would use negative coping skills to even try to mask that pain that we feeling. Like, so for me, it was like I'm gonna use sports to kind of like express myself and being physical. Like the way I play basketball is the direct correlation of what I've been through. So getting to the basket is my thing. Like being physical with people, I'm not afraid to run into like they say, run into a wall. Like what you willing to do. So I think that translate in my life, just working hard and just trying to find healthier ways to process my emotions, and and talk to people about when I experience, and I think that's a way to release some of the things that I had in my past to help other people.
Okay, that's powerful. That's powerful. So would you say like your brother passing was that a point where you like I'm gonna take basketball serious, or was that just like something you played for an outlet? Like when did you actually take the sport serious?
Uh, I always took it serious because I was always competitive, and I think my environment allowed me to be competitive because, as a man, we always trying to mask what we feel, and like we trying to show our dominance and and our egos and stuff. So I always took it serious. I think for me, I would play basketball regardless if my brother was still here, or what have you. But I think that was an extra motivation because I know 19 years of living. That ain't a lot of living. My nephew, which is his son, is when I look at him, he's 20, I'm gonna say 24, 25. Like he passed his dad. So for me, it's more of like I wish he could be here to see me play. I wonder how it would be when I move. If I wonder if I would have even moved back to Philadelphia if that never happened. It's like building a relationship with Bob. You know, we've been friends for 20 years and things of that nature. So like my trajectory, what would my trajectory be if that didn't happen? That's kind of how I look at it. But I always took basketball serious. I wasn't serious in the classroom all the time, but
Okay.
I took basketball serious for sure.
Okay, so you went serious in the classroom. So let's talk about that. Like some of your struggles in the classroom, or like you just not wanting to do it. Like what was that about?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it was more of like not taking it. I don't even say like I took school serious. I just wasn't putting effort into it. I didn't put a lot of effort to it. My school was very competitive in North Carolina. Like I said, like they was taking AP classes, and I was like, yo, I'm just really trying to hoop. And my dad would preach education. My grandfather in my household, growing up in North Carolina, they didn't play that. But you know, when you finally get some freedom, going from 8th grade to 9th grade, you kind of feeling yourself like you in high school. There's girls around. It's you ain't really focused on what you because you don't know the importance of how grades impact the long term. And I was just like going through the motions. So, you know, you get bored. And at the time, I'm just like, I'm just ready to hoop. And that's kind of was my mindset. And until I got back to Philly, like I ain't really know. And still, I kind of slacked. I was just getting by, and it showed because I didn't qualify right out of high school for basketball. Leading the state and scoring 35 points a game, I didn't qualify, so it bit me at the end.
Did did you know at the time? I mean, we probably didn't, but just asking, like, did you have any clue at the time that your grades played that much of a role when it came to playing basketball? And the reason I asked that is because I feel like working here at West Philly High, formerly coaching here at West Philly High on the basketball side, and now coaching at another school. That's one of the biggest things that I try to instill in our players, like just letting them know the importance of it and letting them know about the NCAA clearinghouse and having a certain GPA so you can accept those offers that they say that they want.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So at the time, what I'm asking is like, did you even know? Did you have any knowledge that they played that much of a role in you getting to where you wanted to go?
Great question. I ain't had no knowledge. I was just hooping. Like I said, I ain't had no knowledge. I thought you just get a scholarship. I thought they come see you play, the coaches recruit you, and they give you a scholarship. And you know that's education. But I'll put that a little bit on myself. But when you're not in an environment where that's preached, like at an early age, I think you should be talking about that stuff in the 8th grade before the kids even get to high school. And the way the game is changing now is totally different from when we played and stuff like that. So yeah, I had no knowledge of a clearinghouse. I never knew grades impacted that much. I knew uh, you had to be eligible. You had to have a certain grade point for high school, but I didn't know you had to have a certain GPA to go to college and accept a scholarship. So I would have did it different if I would have known that for sure.
You get to college, well, because yeah, obviously we know you went to college. So you get to college. What college did you start at?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a step before I even get to college. So I went to prep school after my
You
senior
went to
year.
prep school first.
Yeah, I
Okay.
went to prep school, Maine Central Institute, MCI. And that was a shock. Like I said, man, it was one of those things where I wasn't mentally ready. Uh, Growing up in Philadelphia, you see so much violence, particularly gun violence. You lose a lot of your friends and family members to the streets. And I was carrying that with me. Like I felt like I made it, but I couldn't bring nobody with me. You know, that was one of those things like survivor's guilt, where it's like you made it, but all your homies, all your friends, and they back at the crib, like they bigging you up, but they don't get to enjoy none of the stuff that you was going through. So as I got transitioned from high school, from Lamberton High School, I went to MCI and I was struggling mentally because I'm like, it's 12 other guys, they all from different cities, they all great or whatever. And we in this small town, and I'm like, it's 3 hours of sunlight. So I'm battling like they don't care if I average 35 points in the pub. They don't care about none of that. Like they going at me. It got to the point where I couldn't even do a workout. I was nervous to do a workout. I wasn't finishing. People was like, I was like, I'm not good. I start really playing it in my mind. And the coach was like cursing me out, disrespecting me. And I was like, for me, is I didn't know how to work out. Like I knew how to shoot the basketball. Like I know how to get in the gym, get shots up, but what's the intensity you going? How hard you dribbling 1-2? Are you doing the correct footwork and things of that nature? So I struggled. And then after that, like it was, I was there until from August to December, and I left. I didn't even make it for a whole semester. I didn't make it for the whole year just because I didn't think it was a good fit. And the treatment that I was getting, I'm like, all right, I may not be there basketball wise right now, but I felt like I wasn't being humanized as a human being in that situation, and it just was best to part ways. So I came home. I started at working at UPS. My mom was like, either you gonna work or you gonna get back in school. So I tried to work at UPS for a month and a half. I was working from 12 to 4 at night, and it was awful. Like I wasn't ready to start working, and I was like, yo, I gotta get back in school. So I started playing in Haddington League at the time. I started playing in all the local leagues. They like, yo, why you home? Like I was embarrassed, to be honest, because everybody seen me the year before. I'm scoring all these points. I'm in the newspaper and things, and now I'm back just playing rec ball. So it wasn't until the summer where I got a couple calls from junior colleges, and I first attended Johnson County Community College in Kansas. And when I took the visit, I signed on the spot just because a guy named Todd McCoy, he went to Johnson County and then went to Indiana State. But when Todd, we used to come around the neighborhood and play, I'm like, I'm playing up to that level. I'm like, at least if I go to junior college, I have an opportunity to play at the same university or same level university because I'm competing at a high level. And that's what I did. So I started there, and it was like my trajectory of my life just kind of went up, but there still was some bumps in the road, I would say.
He being a little modest, yo. He killed at that junior college, bro. Like destroyed at that junior college, man. Like he got like junior college national player of the year. They won like what 2 championships when you was there or something like that.
Yeah, so we won the national championship my sophomore year, but even there, like even still though, once again, it was still a struggle because it was an adjustment. Like I'm going from a predominantly black city from Philadelphia, and then I'm going to a predominantly white city in Overland Park, Kansas. I don't know nothing about Kansas, and when you are accustomed to so many, I would say bad habits or bad things that happen, you normalize them. Like I said, gun violence, domestic violence, all this type of violence, you start carrying that with you to other places. It's like, yo, it's no need to be Philly, Philly. Like I don't gotta be that dude just being aggressive all the time. Where they showing me a lot of love out there, but like I said, it showed through the basketball court. My first year, my freshman year, so I won freshman of the year. My first year, I think I averaged like 17 points, 5 rebounds, or 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, something like that. Lettuce and steals and stuff like that. But I felt like I was a bad leader, and the reason why I say that once again, I was carrying the weight of the world back at home. And everybody's asking me for shorts. Let me get some gear. Let me get some sneakers and stuff. That's one thing I was like constantly playing in my ear, and like I struggled. Like I was scoring buckets. I was trying to get to a Division I scholarship, and it was kind of like payback. Like I was looking at everybody who was in my class in 2006, and I was measuring myself up with them. They was all going Division I. I'm like, I'm pissed off. Like I don't belong in junior college, and really that was the best thing for me. Uh, and then I got an opportunity. I went back. I went back as a sophomore, and we won the national championship. So I won every award, like National Junior College Player of the Year, MVP of the finals, back to back All American. I just got inducted to the Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago for my
Yeah,
junior
I
college.
saw that, man. That was dope, man. That was decent. I did see that. That was all that.
Man,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, got a lot of awards, but I had a conversation my freshman year going into my summer, which I think allowed me to open up. And my teammate Kyle Speed and my coach told me, they brought me like my coach brought me in the office first. He's like, yo, you gotta fix your attitude. Like you can't curse these dudes out. Like everybody don't they don't listen to like you cursing them out. You might gotta get to them in a different way. And I talked to my man Kyle, he got injured, he tore his ACL during the summer or whatever. We was going to our sophomore year. He's like, yo, you gotta work on these things. And that kind of hit home for me because I'm like, I'm not I'm an intense person when it comes to basketball court. Like I got two different personalities, and sometimes I need to reel it back sometimes. But I respected them, so that kind of took off my trajectory, and got me a Division I scholarship.
So you say the leadership part, you
Yeah,
felt like you didn't really have that
yeah,
all the way. Like me personally, that's something like I'm going through right now. I feel like I could change the way I really, speak to my teammate. But I'm just a passionate guy about the sport. Like I feel like it's kind of like the same thing that we talking about right here. So like, how did you get better with that?
yeah. So I'm a realistic person. I think I'm a realistic person. I take accountability, and I think in order to reach a goal, you had to be open to feedback, whether you like it or not. And the people that was telling me, I trusted. Like I respected them. Like I know they was passionate about it. They cared about me, and I started like, let me try something different. Cause I'm not getting the best out of my teammates if I'm cursing them out, and they ain't from their environment. In Philly, like we used to coaches like cursing us out to get us to play hard because that's just what we accustomed to. But I'm like, dang, I got to get the best. I'm trying to win the championship. I got to go Division One. That was the only thing in my head. Like, I'm not supposed to be in junior college, like, period, flat out. So if I don't get them to be on the same accord, we won't win. And then the more you win, the more eyes, the more opportunity that comes for you. So that was kind of like, for me, I had to switch lanes and try to say, look, is it about me or is it about the team? And whatever accolades I get, it's gonna be because of the team, and I get to go where I need to go.
So quick question off, bouncing off what you just said, in your honest opinion, do you feel like, that way of coaching, do you think it matters, who the player is? Because as a coach, I do feel like some kids, you can be hard with. You can, maybe even drop a curse word here and there just to try to, get that out. I mean, I've had experience where certain players, like when I go at them like that,
Mm-hmm.
it brings like a different side of them. You know what I'm saying? It brings out a different side of them. But then there are players where, you know what I mean, they kind of can't take it. Like you said, the guys you were playing with, you had to realize you had to make a change because, they didn't come from where we came from.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like that's a thing? Do you feel like it matters who the kid is, whether you can do that or not?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think you got to curse at somebody to get the best out of them. Because I experienced it. Like, at the Division One level, my coach Conzo Martin, he never cursed, and this coach probably got the most out of me in basketball, and I didn't believe that you can do that. Like, I don't feel like you got to demean someone to get the best out of them. You got to find out a way what they receive information, and if you talking about demeaning somebody and meaning cursing, however it comes out to get them to go, you got to look at the childhood on how they was raised. No kid want to be cursed out. I don't think that's a normal trait. I don't think none of us as human beings want to be cursed out to get us to do something. Like, if you want me to maximize who I am, I think there's better ways to do it. It's just that, once again, we normalize things that's not normal in our households because that's our upbringing and that's all we know. And like I said, I got to experience both sides of the coin. And like I said, my coach, I got the ultimate respect for, as a black man, to be able to take criticism and constructive criticism without him cursing me out. And I'm like, yo, he didn't curse me out to the point where it felt uncomfortable. Like, you ain't gonna curse me out for doing this? He like, no, I don't gotta demean you. And I'm like, yo, that's respect. I looked at myself in a totally different way and like expressing myself and like, we can have a conversation. Like, what's the game plan on how to effectively get what we need to get done? So I seen it on both ways. I don't think I don't believe you have to. I think people are just accustomed to certain things. But I think if you have a conversation to find out who people are behind the scenes, I think that allows guys to feel vulnerable at times and tell you what they need and how to feel. Because as black men, we don't get to express ourselves without people saying you soft or you weak, or in Philly, it's a total different monster. So I get it.
Okay, and okay, we're gonna transition from JUCO. You play JUCO, you learn, you become a better leader, you probably become a better basketball player. So after that, like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
You
So
leave JUCO.
yeah. So we won a national junior. So we won the whole thing. We won a national junior college championship, or what have you, and it was time for just to go visit and find what school I want to go to. So I had probably over 50 offers. I kept all the offers in the bag. It was handwritten letters and stuff, and I just want to see, like, dang, what if I would have had my score in high school? And it wasn't, at the time, you get all these offers, people be all so excited. I'm like, I'm just surprised that people want me. Like, they want me to come play for their school. My mom and my father didn't have to pay for my school at no point. So I was honored by that or whatever. But at the end of the day, you only gonna pick one school. You only gonna pick for one coach, one school, and that's gonna be that. And I had 2 years left. So I had to pick a school. But even before I got there, my cousin got killed. So I went back in that spiral. I just and my cousin got killed in North Carolina. So my brother got killed in Philly. My cousin get killed in North Carolina. So that was kind of like a setback. So I was kind of like, yeah, I'm still going to school, but I was kind of out of the recruiting process because it happened around the same time. And at that time, I was like, it's my fault. And I say that's my fault because, once again, we talked pretty frequently, and he said he was gonna come out where I was at, come visit, and never made it. So it's like I'm replaying that episode of my brother with my cousin, amongst all the other stuff that's happened in Philadelphia, losing my homies to gun violence in the street. Yo, such and such got killed. Rest in peace to such and such. I'm like, man, is it even worth it to go to Division One? Like, I'd rather just go back home and just like, yo, we figure it out. Try to save everybody. And I know that's not the reality of what I could do, but that's just how I felt at the time. So I picked what I said during my recruiting process, I'm only going to play for a black head coach, flat out. So I took 4 visits to all black coaches, Conzo Martin at Missouri State, Derek Jeter, he was at UW Milwaukee. Johnny Jones was at North Texas. And my last school, where did I go in my last school? I can't even think of my last school that I went to. It'll pop up in my brain. Georgia State. I went to Georgia State, and that was all 4 good visits. What I wanted to go to was high major. I wanted to go a high major school or whatever, but I felt like if I go to high major and I mess up my first 2 games, or I don't get or I'm not producing, they're gonna bring in an All-American. So I said mid major is probably my level where I know I'm gonna be able to plug and play right away. And the one thing that I wanted during my visits, or what I was looking forward to, someone was gonna help me become a better man, and someone was gonna tell me the truth, like my father, and my grandfather. Like I needed them to be an extension of that, because I felt like if you're not bettering me as a person, I know I might not make the NBA. I'm realistic about my expectations. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm cool on and off the court. And I decided to go with Missouri State under Conzo Martin.
Okay, Missouri State. So get to Missouri State. Say your cousin passed away.
Yeah.
Cause I know I've lost people, like I said before, so I know how that can take a toll on you. So like, did you feel like that kind of pulled you back down after you just like you went through your whole JUCO process? You felt like you become a better leader, you become a better basketball player, maybe a better person. Like, so like, how was that struggle once you get the D1 and like that happens? Like,
Great question. Yeah, I went in a spiral again. Once again, I think it's a part of my life, to be honest. Like I think I go through these laws. Like it's a trial period. Like meaning the first year is like filling it out. So when I got there, I wasn't qualified because I had to finish up some classes in the summer for my junior college. So all my classes didn't transfer over. So I was taking like 7 classes in the summer, and that's very hard to do in the summer. Like I'm stressing out, like I got to get qualified, whatever. So I had to take all these classes because, like I said, some of my classes didn't transfer over. So when I finally got on the basketball court, they've been in a month practicing. I've been sitting. I can't use the facilities and know nothing because I wasn't qualified. I finally get on the floor. I'm like a 45-minute workout by myself. Man, I'm dead. Like if you talk to any of my teammates, it was one workout particularly. We was working out. We was sprinting, and I fell flat on my face. Like literally, like they could have just. I was so exhausted because I never been worked like that a day in my life. Like I've been in workouts. But I never had a workout where you 45 minutes straight. It ain't no breaks, none of that. It's straight, like hard, do 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 do. And at the time, I was like a combo guard. They was transitioning me all the way to a point guard. So like I gotta guard the ball full court. I gotta bring the ball up, and I can bring the ball up, but I wasn't comfortable with somebody guarding me continuously. But nobody knew that though. Like nobody even paid me that. But I knew my body wasn't shaped, and I emotionally I was messed up because once again I was competing with other guys from all different. I'm from Philly. These country boys. I'm not letting nobody like I'm top junior college player in the country. Just won a national junior. So it was a lot of pressure. They was putting me in the paper, and then next thing you know, I came off the bench. I wasn't in the lineup, so when when they put that name on the board, I'm a junior. We had a fifth year senior was there, but I'm like, talent wise, I'm way better than him. Fear Meyer, but he dominated me in practice. Like I'm talking about domination. Like I ain't scared to like when he guarded me full court, I was bouncing the ball off my foot. I couldn't run the plays because I was mentally out of it. Because I was so tired, but I was like offended. Like, what do I need to do to get better? But also like emotionally, like I needed more than just being in a small town, adjusting to the Division 1 lifestyle, but also I need to take care of some of the stuff mentally I was going through. So I eventually got a psychologist because I almost dropped out my junior year because I was depressed. Like I was literally depressed being in a small town and not being able to come to a place where I put all this energy in to get to the Division 1 project. Because I know back in Philly, they was talking crazy about,
Right.
oh, you led the pub in scoring, you didn't go to junior college, and then you come off the bench. Oh man, I was devastated. Devastated.
So you go through the whole process, the ups and downs of college. Like, tell me how that finished off.
Yeah, so I finished off. College. I got a psychologist. I got the help that I needed. So I was carrying out weight of the world. I got diagnosed with depression, PTSD, and anxiety, and then I had a learning disability, dyslexia, and it kind of brought me to my purpose to the day. Like I went from patient to provider, meaning that now I'm at my university at Tennessee State University as a doctoral student to become a psychologist. Because I think a lot of men, particularly black males, we don't see nobody who look like us in this space with mental health. And I try to use that as my way of entering the sports space where I'm not non-threatening, meaning like I'm not a handler. I don't care if you make the NBA. I always want to give you some healthy tips on how to manage your emotions while you on the court and while you off the court. So I just used all the stuff that I've been through as a way to not even give back, but to heal myself because I know a lot of black men are struggling, black boys are struggling with some of the similarities, like you talked about, losing people to the streets, being put in positions where it's not in the best interest of you, but you got to sacrifice because of the situation. And I just put myself in your shoes and say, listen, man, it's a way out, but we need more of us in this space to be able to manage some of the emotions that we may feel.
Right. Okay. You said you became a psychologist.
So I'm in my first year doctoral program, Tennessee State University in counseling psychology. So I will become after I graduate and get my license and everything. So I'm a doctoral student right now.
Doctoral student. Okay. So how's that process? Like, are you enjoying it?
Yeah,
Is it
it's
different? I know it's way different from the basketball world you stepping out of.
it's similar though. It's similar. It's education. I value it. I never thought I'd become a doctor. I'd probably be the first doctor in my neighborhood, what have you. And it's a journey. I just finished up my half semester. We just got out, so it's been good. It just challenged your thought process, but it's also I'm in a field where it's under 1% of black males, and then basketball is under 1%. So I feel like it's the same. I dress sweatpants, hoodie on. Like I'm very similar, but it just like educating myself on being able to help my community out. So it's been a journey. I'm still in shock that I'm here at this level. Like I said, I didn't qualify out of high school. I didn't have the best GPA growing out of my master's program or whatever. And, I got 3 masters, all paid for. Like everything that I've ever done, like I put myself in a position to get opportunities, and I'm taking full advantage to bring other people with me.
Yo, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like, we definitely that's what this podcast is for. Try to bring primarily different people from different walks of life and just share their story, man. To try to give kids a different perspective and to let them know, like, there's not one way of achieving your goals. You know what I mean? Like you had a lot of setbacks and stuff like that, but what I learned from your story, being your homie and actually kind of being there with you through some of those things is just you persevere, and that's what I want our guys to see and our young ladies to see, man. Perseverance. Like it's you're gonna get hit with certain obstacles and stuff through life, but just don't let it bring you down. You can always persevere through those things, man. Hey Bear, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and and being that young voice that the students need to hear too. You know what I'm saying? And Feast, again, I appreciate you coming through. And this is another episode of The Scoop.